Hi everyone, both online and on-site. On behalf of the workshop organizers, I would like to warmly welcome you to our Are You Happy with the AV User Experience in AV Human Interactions workshop. After so many frustrations and difficult times during Corona time, I am really happy that we finally made our workshop on-site at IEEE IV 2022. With the instrument of a hybrid online meeting platform, we are also able to include those who unfortunately still could not travel internationally. During this workshop, we will be focusing on the research of user experience in the interactions between autonomous vehicles and humans. Before we start our workshop today, I would like to quickly recall the last workshops we have organized associated with the IEEE Intelligent Transportation Systems Society. Last year at IV 2021, we held an online workshop that was focused on trust models, theories, and scenarios. We also discussed the communications between automated vehicles and human traffic partners. For example, how the communication is carried out between AV and vulnerable users, like pedestrians and cyclists in shared spaces of mixed traffic. We had a brainwriting session during the workshop to collect potential methods from both HMI and non-HMI perspectives to reduce overtrust and distrust in various traffic situations. At ITSC 2021, our workshop focused on communication between autonomous vehicles and human traffic partners. We had a panel discussion on the differences between the autonomous vehicle and manual vehicle communication, and autonomous vehicle and vulnerable users communication, as well as the strategies to evaluate the effectiveness of HMI-based communication methods. However, there are still a lot of open questions about the interactions between autonomous vehicles and humans. That is why we want to further discuss this topic with you at this workshop. Based on the previous workshops, I am delighted to say that some of us have already established excellent collaboration and even joint projects. Many of our good friends come back again to meet us together and exchange ideas on today's topic. We are honored to have 9 invited speakers with 3 sessions focused on different subtopics, namely trust and acceptance of AV, motion sickness concerning user experience, and eHMI for AV and human communications. Our organizers are also coming from multidisciplinary research domains. For example, Ronin Gao from Eindhoven University, Hailong Liu from Japan, and Hao Cheng from Leibniz University Hannover, and Yang Li from KIT now is doing her internship in Leeds. During today's workshop, we will be focused on 3 aspects that have an essential impact on user experience in human AV interactions. There are also critical factors that can impact the public acceptance of autonomous vehicles. The first aspect we want to discuss is the motion sickness in AV comfort. Then we want to talk about the role of human-machine interface in AV human interaction. Last, we will discuss the trust and the acceptance of AV. Motion sickness is caused by various types of body movements and visual information, and can be experienced in our daily lives, such as in cars, ships, airplanes, and virtual environments. Motion sickness is quite common, especially for passengers doing long driving tasks in AVs with reduced spatial awareness. Hence, We want to know how we can minimize motion sickness in AV motions and improve the comfort of passengers when they are not engaged with the driving tasks or in the back seats. For example, the predictability of an AV's motion patterns may affect motion sickness. Also, HMI designs, while, for example, visual, acoustic, haptic, and olfactory signals can be used to indicate vehicle motion dynamics. Of course, the driving style, vehicle speed, road conditions, and so on can also impact the user's motion sickness. The second aspect of today's workshop is the communication between AV and road users. The current research shows a lack of driver-centric cues in communication with the SAE L3 to L5 autonomous vehicles like eye gaze and hand gestures. The lack of such information may impact the road user's experience when interacting with AVs. In this case, eHMI may facilitate communication. However, it's crucial to understand how a novel eHMI affects interactions between passengers and the drivers in the AV and other road users, like verbal road users and manual vehicle outside the AV. More importantly, how should we apply eHMI to facilitate the decision-making and enhance road users' safety and trust in the AV? The last aspect is trust and acceptance in human AV interactions. Trust in AV is especially important for user experience because it can impact the public acceptance of AV and the safety and the smoothness of drivers takeover at L3 AV. Also, high-level trust can improve prosocial behavior. Nevertheless, there are overtrust and undertrust issues in human AV interactions. Overtrust is likely to lead to accidents when the AV fails, but user trust that the AV is functioning well. On the other hand, undertrust will inevitably make it difficult for the users to accept AVs. The vicious circle is that overtrust leads to accidents, and accidents will decrease the acceptance of AV. And in the end, people have no trust in AV. And so we have many open research questions that need to be addressed. For example, how does trust issues arise in human AV interactions? How to evaluate the trust in AV subjectively and objectively? How to calibrate the trust and acceptance in AV? Here is the overview of today's schedule. In the first session, Professor Wada, Dr. Liu, and Dr. Papaiano will walk us through their research on motion sickness in AV comfort. After a 20-minute break, Dr. Li, Dr. Sadian, and Dr. Habibovic will present their recent works on communication between AV and road users. Coming back from the lunch break, Dr. Wintersberg, Dr. Yang, and Dr. Lüken will talk about their studies on trust and acceptance in human AV interactions. Now, let us start with the first session hosted by Hailong.